and brimstone tonight. Well, she would have been disappointed because while I'm known as the rude boy, I'm intending to be very diplomatic tonight. Maybe the last time that you have me do that, but I'm doing to be diplomatic tonight. And as I committed to my board, I've also written a speech for tonight, which I never do, because I always speak what comes to my mind. So, there goes. It is truly a privilege to stand before you tonight as your newly elected president and on behalf of your newly elected board. We stand ready to do your work. I would be remiss if I didn't take this opportunity to share with you your change plan for 2025-2026. But before I begin, I would like to hold a moment of silence for an extraordinary past president of this Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce and my late business partner, Mr. Christopher E. Lowe, who passed last year. Rest in peace, my brother, until we begin. Any one of the many persons who have worked with me over the past 4 decades will tell you that I find it essential to explain why we need to do something before I explain what we want to do. I will take the liberty of using the keynote speaker's time, but I endeavor to keep it brief. In fact, my wife cut my speech in half. The why. Commerce is the engine that drives all societies. It dates to the days of cavemen. Cavemen were nomadic gatherer hunters, but they traded with each other for what each had at the time. Fast forward to approximately 10,000 years, man invented agriculture. Agriculture made it essential for humans to settle in one place and to build community. Neighbors engaged in trading with each other for the betterment of all. Over time, community led to specialization with different farmers growing different crops and others providing different services necessary to sustain the farms. As with all communities, someone needed to be the arbiter. While this started as a single person, as the community grew, so did this function. Today, we call that function government. And of course, government had to eat too. The beginning of what we now call taxes. Let's fast forward to today. Government and taxes are essential to facilitating commerce in growing societies. However, an overuse of laws and regulations and an overuse of taxes strangles commerce. The very goods we all depend on to lay the egg we all eat. Governments all over the globe, without explicitly saying so, acknowledge the truth that they have overused laws, regulations, policies, and taxes, stifling the very economies that they are charged with supporting. As a result of this acknowledgement, almost all countries have established free trade zones. The mere existence of these zones acknowledges the need to reduce regulation to stimulate commerce. In 1955, Freeport was created as the first modern free trade zone in the world. The Hawkesbury Creek Act and subsequent agreement between government, the Grand Bahama Port Authority Limited, and GDP licensees was and still is lauded as one of the most economically successful legislation in the history of our country. However, the Bahamas has collectively abused our free trade zone. None of us have clean hands, no matter what the noise in the market says. Foreign investors no longer see us as free, and we, a local business community, have not developed the capacity to truly benefit from our own free trade zone. Grand Bahama and the wider Bahamas has paid the price for this in lost opportunity. As we are all aware, there is an overabundance of work to do to bring thriving international commerce back to Grand Bahama, and for Grand Bahama to be more of the contributor to the country that it was earmarked to be. The what? The global concept of the Chamber of Commerce is to represent and advocate for the interests of commerce, promoting economic growth and development by facilitating networking, providing support services, and influencing public policy decisions that benefit the local business environment and thus the community. It is this year's Chamber goal to make significant strides towards remediating the challenges previously discussed. We can only eat the elephant one bite at a time. So how will we do it? The Chamber does its work through committees. Before I release you to dance tonight, I would like to take a moment to introduce you to the current committees, their appointed chair and vice chairs, and their mission for this new term. The Membership Committee. The Grand Bahama Chamber represents all businesses on Grand Bahama, but only a few businesses currently have a formal say in the running of the Chamber. Less than 10% of the businesses on Grand Bahama are financial members, mostly the large businesses. This committee is charged with significantly changing that. The board is about inclusion, hence all the speakers. The committee has been given a goal to quadruple the membership this year. It will accomplish that by sitting with every business on Grand Bahama that will give us their time to ascertain what prevents them from being a member and voicing their views. It will then make the necessary changes to the Chamber's operation to ensure that we support those budding and new members. This committee is chaired by Second Vice President Eddie Warren and Director Nicole Colebrook. Please stand and be recognized. Like all committees, we employ members to volunteer to assist. We cannot do without you. The Economic Development Committee. Wallace Groves had a vision of developing the pine barren of Grand Bahama into an industrial city we call Freeport. Industries that utilize natural resources and free trade concessions to benefit his company, the GGPA, Grand Bahama Island, and the country would be built around a protected deep water harbor. The government thought it was a wonderful idea. He subsequently expanded it to include a touristic and residential resort we call Lukai. For many reasons, too long to list here, Grand Bahama has lost that vision. At a macro level, the reasons were market-driven and others governance-driven. As such, we have become an island-wide free FLEA, not free FREE market. We are no longer known for anything. The right hand is pulling in one direction and the left in another, and the Economic Development Committee is chaired by Director Asad Burrows and has been charged with the goal of pulling the Ministry of Grand Bahama, GBPA, GD Promotion Board, and representatives of all business sections together to develop and promote a new, comprehensive vision and strategy for Grand Bahama Island. It is essential that when people around the world hear the name Grand Bahama, they know what we stand for and what the opportunities are here. It is essential that everyone's actions supports a shared vision. The SAR cannot be successful if you all do not come together to contribute your ideas and recommendations to this task. He thanks you in advance, and so do I. Ease of doing business or regulatory committee. As previously stated, regulation is essential to effective commerce, but over-regulation kills the boost. The goal of this committee will be to make recommendations to government and/or Grand Bahama Port Authority to remediate as many laws, regulations, and policies that hinder commerce. It will do this by meeting with every Grand Bahama business and every island chamber that is interested in sharing what regulatory factors hinder their ability to successfully do business, and preparing recommendations for remediation. It will also be making recommendations to government on the concrete agreement concessions that expired in 2015, were partly addressed, then rescinded, and are still outstanding. There are significant risks to us as businesses on Grand Bahama. Investors loathe uncertainty. The Ease of Doing Business Committee is chaired by Director Randall Smith, who could not make it tonight. But he will be reaching out to each and every one of you to get your views. The Small Business Development Committee. While the Economic Development Committee is charged with developing a vision, the Small Business Development Committee is charged with equipping small businesses to successfully take advantage of the economy. We have seen the challenges small businesses face when doing business in the global and national marketplace. This committee will, one, provide programs to educate small businesses on the elements of running a successful business. Two, lend professional assistance where necessary. And three, collaborate with others to be a repository of data, statistics, analytics, and contacts that are useful to existing and aspiring business owners. This committee is led by Directors Ivana Smith and Terrence Roberts II. Please stand. Community Affairs Committee. The Chamber is very aware that businesses are comprised of employees, and employees are a large component of customers to other businesses. Successful businesses have successful employees. Successful employees are able customers, and able customers make successful businesses. Businesses and customers and businesses and other businesses are not each other's competitors. We are truly each other's keepers. The outgoing board under past President James Carey came up with the idea for a community affairs committee. This committee will raise funds and hold activities that help the community, our customers, to get through these hard times. Director Jacolia Brennan and Secretary Taya McIntosh Daberman will lead the effort. They will be reaching out to you for financial support. Please stand. Thank you. Public Relations and Press Committee. It is often perceived that the Chamber is an organization of the elite for the elite. It is obvious that this perception permeates due to a void of communication and public relations. We have challenged the PR and press committee to keep not just the membership, but the wider community abreast of the Chamber's work and successes. Expect to hear from us on a weekly basis. This committee is chaired by Directors Brandon Hall and Jana Campbell. Please stand. Fundraising and Events Committee. The Chamber is a non-profit organization that depends solely on fundraising and finances efforts on behalf of the business community. Without a successful fundraising committee, there is no chamber and no advocacy. The cupboard is currently bare. Over the decades, we have been able to sustain 2 paid employees, the executive director and the executive's assistant. All board and committee members are volunteers. Last year, the paid executive director, our version of a permanent secretary, retired decades of stellar service. We have not been financially solvent enough to fill that vacancy. Boards come and go, but the executive director and executive assistant anchor the chamber from year to year. Even though the board and committees are all volunteers, there are still other expenses required to complete the mission. The Fundraising and Events Committee's goal will be to put all on events and programs that, one, enlighten and educate our members on topical issues. 2, allow for networking of members within and outside the organization. 3, promote the Grand Bahama business community. And 4, raise the necessary funds to support the Chamber's existence and advocacy. The committee is chaired by Directors Donna Jones and Davina Rutherford. Please stand. Budget and Finance Committee. Last but not least, the finance team of First Vice President Ralph Hepburn, Treasurer Karina Ferguson, and Director Navarre Smith are charged with managing and accurately reporting our financials. If you cannot contribute time to a committee, please dig into your piggy bank and help to fund a committee's efforts. Together, we will make a significant difference for Grand Bahama Island. In closing, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the board for volunteering their time and expertise and congratulate them on their election and committee appointments. They are a young, vibrant, and energetic team that I am pleased to shepherd through this term. I would like to thank the outgoing board for all they have done to keep the fire burning. I would also like to thank the installation committee and the Grand Client for a banquet well done. I would like to thank all the speakers for their remarks, especially the request for me to continue throwing stones. P.S. Lewis, who was pinch hitting on extremely short notice after the DPM had to cancel yesterday. The DPM was also pinch hitting for our minister who is traveling, but he's now pinch hitting for the DPM, who is pinch hitting for the PM. Thank you, PS, for answering the call on such short notice. And finally, I would like to thank you, our members and guests, for supporting us with your attendance and your acts. We cannot do it without you. I would be remiss if I didn't thank my mother and my brother and sister who traveled from Nassau to attend this banquet. Truth be told, you really traveled to see their grand and great grand work. They come here to support us as well. Thank you all and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Enjoyed the show? Then subscribe to us for more educational and inspirational content. Ring the bell so you never miss a show. Let's change the narrative 242.